Hi all, welcome to the channel, welcome to the workshop. We now have issue 27 of Mallard, and as you can see, I've got the body up, I've got the chassis up. What could we be doing today? Let's have a look, let's get into it, let's get building. Right, so here we are, issue 27 of the Mallard. And we've only got a couple of pieces, as you can see, which are these, which is you've got the chimney, and we've got the chassis plate. Now, I know I've got the body and the chassis up here, but it is a little bit of a tease. We are going to be doing a temporary mounting of the body and the chassis, but we are then expected to take it apart again and leave it as this. So we are mounting this plate, as you can see there. I have looked through these instructions already, and you notice we've got a couple of holes there that we need to, that are pre-drilled apparently. They're not on this, so I'm going to have to do that. I'm going to have to drill those and then put a tap into them. But we'll get to that in a moment. In this stage, we've got Britain's Railways, and we've got classic locomotives today. Right, so what we've got today, we've got the chassis plate. This looks just like that. We have the chimney, looking just like so. And we got a small bag of screws. That's all we got for today. But we do have a little bit of work to do, I believe. Starting off with this plate, we've got a couple of holes that we need drilling. They need drilling all the way through. And we need to use a 2.1mm drill bit for that. And they suggest if you start from one end and then go in from the other end and sort of meet in the middle. So I'm going to do that. I think they do say start from this side. And this is quite soft metal, so you can do it quite easily with a manual drill. So those holes are now drilled out. I did cheat. I gave up on this and ended up using my Dremel. It was going to take forever with the little pin vise, but that's now done. Now, this is where we take the body, and we've got this section just here, and this is where this plate is going to sit, just like that. Now, we're not actually gluing that in just a second, because what we need to do, we need to take our chassis, we need to place that in here, like so. We need to check that the axles are parallel with the frame or the body, and as you can see, that looks pretty good to me. Same with the other side. So as you can see, that looks pretty good. So I'm happy with that. Now, if it needed raising or lowering at the front, to lower, we just need to take a bit of material off those two prongs on each side, and obviously that would make that whole thing sit a little bit higher in the body and make the body sit lower on the chassis. If we need to go the other way, we're told that we just need to put some masking tape on, and obviously it will lift this section up a little bit. But I think that's pretty perfect for what I'm doing it for, so I'm happy with that. So we are just going to be gluing that in place now. Right, so we've got that glued in there. Now this is the point where we're told we need to put a couple of M2 taps in a couple of pre-drilled holes. But as I said, I don't have those pre-drilled holes. I don't even have a dimple or anything to tell me where those pre-drilled holes should go. So I'm going to have to make a little bit of an educated guess by putting the chassis in and just marking through these 2 points here and just drilling through that. With, I assume, if it's an M2, I'm going to need a 2.2mm drill bit, drill through those. So I'm going to make a bit of an educated guess. I'm going to do this off camera because it's not technically part of the part of what we should be doing, because we should just be doing them two to tap. So I will drill those holes now and I'll come back to you. Right, so I've got those two drilled and tapped. Just using M2 tap for that. Now we have our chassis, we've got a body, and we've got two brass screws in here. Now this is the point where they're actually asking us to secure the chassis to the body. But I know we also then have to remove it again. So I'm not quite sure why we're doing this. I think this is just down to effectively test fitting this and pre-doing the holes. So we've got these brass ones, which are a small flathead. And they are going to go into the holes that I've just drilled and tapped. Right, so we've got those two brass screws in there. Now, although the instruction said M2, I think that should have been much smaller. That seems a very, very loose fit there. The other thing we've got these two self-tapping screws, and they're a posi drive, or Phillips head, I should say. And they're going to go into the two holes on that chassis plate that we put in earlier. Right, so because then we're not fully fitting this, I haven't tightened them up fully. And that's basically what it's looking like. Now we need to take that off and then do the final part of this stage, which is fitting the chimney. Right, so that's the screws out and the chassis removed. So we're going to flip it back over and we're going to be placing this just there. It does have a locating pin which goes into that hole there. And as you can see, that is a pretty good fit. So I'm just going to run some glue around that and get that glued in place. Obviously, we do want to make sure it is straight. So we do need to check that. And the easy way to do it is probably just to line up the holes that you can see there through the funnel. And then we just glue that in place. Just lining that up. And we have it like that. And that is all there is to do in that stage. But it's certainly looking pretty good. It's coming together. Thank you very much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, please remember to give it a big thumbs up. So Mallard is looking absolutely fantastic. I haven't screwed the chassis back in. I have just left it sat on rails as I showed you earlier. But that is looking absolutely fantastic. I think just adding that chimney stack does give it a real good look. Next week, I believe we are still continuing work on the body. And I believe we've got one, if not more, of the buffers. So if you want to see that or anything else that goes on in the workshop, please do remember to hit that subscribe button and ding that bell. Then you'll be notified when I release the next videos. Until the next time, I'll see you around. Cheers.